Welcome to the Hard Knocks podcast, where we dive deep into the door-knocking industry, the grind, and the grit it takes to succeed. This is the show for the ones who've been told no more times than they can count, but keep showing up anyway. Today, we have back in the studio my man Naaman, who has been out in Afghanistan.
Afghanistan, baby.
You've been out rocking in Lubbock for a hot minute, bro. I feel like I may have seen you twice, dude, in the last 60 days.
It's been a long but very fast 60 days.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
time flies when you're
the days are
claims.
quick. The days are quick, but it was a long month.
Yeah.
You know, it's a different kind of grind. It's kind of fun. I had fun though.
Yeah, to give some context, so we had a huge storm out in Lubbock, Texas. It was two separate storms. Right?
Yeah.
Two separate.
June 5th, June 17th.
3 inches, both of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's demolished the whole area. You sent me pictures. It literally looked like a war zone. Yeah. And so, tell me a little bit about that, bro. I'll just say, I personally have never just gone out and ran a storm like that and just stayed somewhere for 2 months. I know a lot of people in the industry have when storms like that happen. Yeah. They go out there, they set up base, they acquire a lot of business, and then they post their flag in the dirt. But you were the first person, that I've seen really go out there and do $1 million in 60 days, $1 million in sales. That's fucking crazy. You set a new record for Miller Storm. Just tell me a little bit about that, man. What your experience has been like, bro, out there.
Yeah, it's something that I know we wanted to add to our company, you know?
Yeah.
And then some of our revenue goals, we were trying to pass them and trying to stay on track. And I'm like,
yeah,
I came from a sales organization. And I'm like, I know how to sell.
Right.
It wasn't really my job here, though, for the last year. We've been working on all kind of other stuff, right?
Yeah.
And this year, I think I went to 4 different storms. I went to the College Station one. I went to the Dallas one.
Yeah.
I worked a little bit here in the Fort Worth one. And when I say went and worked, I mean, like, I went down there to check to see if this was something worth doing. And then also the one here in Fort Worth, Dallas, Round Rock, Austin, College Station, and then Lubbock.
Yeah.
I saw the Lubbock storm.
Yeah, you were traveling around.
I was trying to find it, dude.
Yeah.
I knew I wanted to sell something because I remember we talked one time. He was like, dude, if you want to make more money in roofing, you just got to sell roofs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. Because it fired me up last year. Remember when our top guy made over $400,000, and I'm like, I've never worked in a company where someone made more money. Like, it's a weird freaking feeling. And so I was like, next year I'm going to sell some roofs. And and you suggested it too. You were like, dude, you should sell some roofs. And I was like, okay, well, we'll figure out when.
Yeah.
And so when I went around all those storms, that was the one storm that I saw that was really, it was worth working, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I did a turn and burn, fucking College Station. Me and Danny went out there early in the morning. We were back in the afternoon. Like, we were like, this was not it.
Yeah.
I worked that Austin one for a week, and that wasn't it for me, at least.
That storm looked like it did crazy damage too. Yeah. Like, it looked like Armageddon when I saw it on social media, and it was just like slush hail.
Yep.
It really didn't do much.
Yeah. And then we didn't chase San Antonio at all. We let that one ride. And then I worked a little bit of that Dallas storm.
Yeah.
But not much, more referrals. And then the Kennedale, Fort Worth one, that was more our team than me. I just went out there a couple of days with them. I was like, not really interested in that one either.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, if I'm going to do it, it has to be worth it for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I already make a lot of fucking money. So I'm like, it's got to be, I got to make a lot of fucking money to go do it again. And so when I saw that storm, the damage that it had, the opportunity that was there, a model that was unproven, but something that I knew was possible. I tinker with shit, you know? Yeah. I like to work on what I like to work on. You know what I mean? I've been like that the whole time I've been here. I'm like, let me do this. Let me try that. Let me, but when I work on shit, it works.
Yeah.
And so this one, I was like, let me just go try this.
I remember when you called me, you were like, yo, everybody needs to get out here right now. Everything is demolished. It's like, I can imagine like in the military, they're like, we need air support. We need all the troops right now. Like, I was like, are you serious? And then I remember you sending me that picture. I was like, dude, that roof is annihilated. I mean, the stone-coated steel roofs were annihilated. Everything was annihilated. I didn't see you on a roof that didn't have damage.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? There was people, I never been to Lubbock. I never been to West Texas, period.
Yeah.
And so I just like, we went out there that first, it was like the 12th when we went out there. The storm happened on June 5th. We were out there on the 12th because of our commercial guy's property manager situation that they landed some big deal.
Yeah.
So the first week I was out there, dude, I just ran like 60 inspections on a deal we ended up not even getting.
I know.
But I saw the damage, and I was like, I came back, and I was like, we need to start a branch out there.
Yeah.
I was like, so I went back on the 18th of June is when I went back. And by, I think it was like before the end of July, we had sold $1 million.
Yeah.
From 18 June to end of July.
Yeah.
Like, it was just run it up, dude.
Yep.
And I can talk about how we accomplished and what we did, but really what it boiled down to is like just getting to it.
Right.
Because even when I called you, nobody fucking came.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, because no one been to Lubbock. They didn't realize, like, I'm like, hey, it's like 3 Colleyvilles out here. There's like a nice neighborhood here in Fort Worth. Like, I'm like, there's like 3 Colleyvilles, dude.
Yeah.
This isn't bumfuck Texas.
Right.
Like Texas tech money, old money, oil money, like coal money.
We struck gold out here.
I'm like, these motherfuckers got some money.
Yep.
I'm like, and they're all paying their deductible.
Right. Right.
We're not, race to the bottom out here. Y'all should come. And no one really took it serious. And I remember posting pictures in the group me on these massive houses. Like, hey, dude, well. And they're like knocking in the hood in Kennedale. And I'm like, well. I'm like, y'all should come.
Yeah.
And then finally, like 3 weeks after I was there, mid-July, people decided to come.
Yeah, I think it was when you ran up like 400,000 in a week or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I did like close to like, from the 18th to the 30th, I did like almost 300 grand.
Yeah.
And people were like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I passed like the whole bottom part of the sales board was just.
Yeah.
And then it was just like the guys that have been roofing for a little while and then the top guys.
Yep.
And then people saw that and were like, what the hell's going on in Lubbock? And I'm like, y'all should come. And I came back for my birthday over 4th of July. Those are the 3 days I took off during that 60 days, 4, 5, 6. And went back down there, dude. And that was like we ran up like 770,000 in July out there in that branch. Dudes that never roofed before.
And just to give all the viewers some context, so, and this is a range, right? And it all depends on profit margin, right? Because, we pay off profit. $1 million in sales is anywhere between $140,000 and $170,000, give or take, the margin. And so within 54 days, you made probably 150 grand. That's a very safe bet.
Well, everybody pay their deductible.
And yeah. So maybe 170.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I don't know anyone in my circle that you can make $170,000 in less than 60 days. But you have to take action.
Yep.
Right. Which brings us to our next topic, right? Because like I think now you can shed some light on this because like I've been in the industry for 10 years and I think you might have a different perspective on it. Is the $1 million question is what differentiates somebody that's successful in roofing in the beginning and the people that are not successful? I want to hear your take.
Yeah, I had a unique opportunity for myself.
Yeah.
I don't do a whole lot of comparison to myself with other people. I just think if I can do it, anyone else can do it too. But so does every other fucking badass motherfucker, right?
Right.
And to an extent, it's true. But there's a couple things reasons I was successful and ways for people to be successful. I'll go over why I was successful first, and then kind of transition. It's all the things that I've worked on since I was 18 years old. Like when I was in the Army for all those years. I remember when we talked about you bring me over here for marketing. I'm like, you actually want me here for all this Army shit, right?
Structure.
Yeah, all this like leading from the front and like toughing it out and the grit and like all that stuff. I'm like, that's what you. I was like, that's what you need me here for. We both thought it was marketing, but it wasn't. And this is another testament to that.
You've worn many hats.
Yeah, but this is just another testament to that because this is like a little deployment. Like it was like a 60-day freaking. I did like 3-day R&R and then right back to it. And I'm leaving today to go to Amarillo to go do it again.
Right after this.
Yeah, like plane right after the podcast. And that leadership that I learned in the Army was the first part, because I didn't do it by myself. I built a little team out there. Like we had no support from the reps that worked here there at first.
Right.
And so my first person I recruited was a dude out of Torchy's.
Yeah.
He was my waiter, and he was 6'5".
Oh, Jacob.
Jacob, dude. He walked up, and he's like, I asked for some eggs because I was like eating really healthy for this competition I'm doing, and I'm still like trying to eat healthy. And so I asked for eggs on the side of like a ranch hand. I'm like, I need some more protein. And he brings them out. He's like, did you ask for eggs? And I'm like, yeah, I asked for eggs. Okay, they were a little confused because they didn't charge me for it. And so like Jacob like paid for my eggs.
Oh, shit.
Because he's like, I guess he's like, dude, just make them for him. Like, I don't want to, whatever. And he brings me back one, and I'm like, yo, I asked for two. And he goes back and gets me another egg. He pays for the second egg. Yeah. Because I then tried to close one working for me out there. He's like, dude, just offer me a job. I'm going to pay for his fucking egg. You know what I mean? He tells the story way better than me. But it was the teamwork. So I recruited a dude out of Torchy's. He ended up being a canvasser for me and setting like 5 contracts up, like knocking doors, and then I'm coming in, doing the inspection, filing the claim. Like that leadership part helped me build a team. I didn't just cold knock and do $1 million in sales.
Right.
Like that, whoever does that is another level of
door knocking's a team sport, man.
Yeah. And so that leadership stuff helped me get the guy out of Torchy's. We ran some Indeed stuff. I people pick so well. I only hired 2 people, and they're both still here, and they're both producing from the Indeed ads. Yeah. Then I grabbed, I wasn't feeling well one day, probably just from exhaustion. And I wasn't feeling well one day, and so I freaking cheated on my diet and ordered a pizza. Right?
I remember that.
I ordered a pizza, and I ate the whole fucking thing in 2 days. I was hungry. But, when you're sick, you eat something like whatever, shitty. My pizza delivery kid came, and I was not even feeling good, and he gave me my pizza, and he starts walking away, and I'm like, I should probably fucking try to recruit this kid. I'm like, hey, buddy. Yeah. I was like not feeling good, you know? I'm like, hey, buddy, come here real quick. I'm like, here, grab a slice of pizza. Let's chop it up real quick. Recruit him. He ends up setting a bunch of appointments for some of the guys that ended up coming down. And then one of my homeowner's sons, bro, like I'm on the roof. I see him come out. He's like 22, 23 years old, chopping up with him. Smart kid. Ended up recruiting him to come work for us too. And then the one interview that I did where it was another Indeed guy, his name's Chris, probably he got next out there, you know what I mean? He filed like 8 claims in the last 4 days when I was gone. And I come to interview him, and he's been in some other door-to-door stuff, but he came on like weeks later. So that first like $800,000 that we sold, he didn't see because he was at a job, but he wanted to do something else, and he saw an opportunity. And I remember he told me, he's like, man, I knew I was going to work with you, bro. During the middle of the interview, you just hit that vape. Because I was doing interviews at the Airbnb, bro, and I was interviewing so many people. I was doing like 10 interviews in like 2 hours. Yeah. I was just trying to bang them. So I'm like, hey, how long you been asking all these questions. He's like, then when I hit the vape, he pulled his out, started doing it. He started vaping. I'm like, okay, cool. This guy was cool, you know what I mean? And then he's been riding around with me for 3 weeks, just training, shadowing, because I know I see the potential in him. But it was teamwork, man, was the first part. Yeah. Building that little team out there, all working together.
What were you looking for, though, in those guys? Because, like, I have the things that I look for, you know? But what are the top 3 things you look for?
Yeah. I'll give the individual people that I hired. With Jacob, like, he was a tall, kind, like customer service based person. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I know what to do with that. Right. I've molded very, very good sales guys from like 0 sales to monsters. Right. You know what I mean? Like just straight gangsters. And I was like, I know I'll get this dude a little muscle on him, get him polished up. Yeah. He's gonna be a murderer at the door. Yeah. So but I saw the attributes that he had, and I'm like, if I add to that, he can be great. Yeah. With Eduardo, he was already slick with his words, and he spoke 2 languages, and I saw an opportunity there, and I'm like, dude. And he was like, dude, I just need to work. And I'm like, when I hear that, I'm like, all right, let's go. Because that's all I'm doing is working. Yeah. And then with Chris, he had experience, but he had leadership potential is what I saw in him as well. Because he had worked at other companies. He was competitive. Like, all those things came out during the interview. And I'm like, this is another guy. Yeah. And because the rest of those dudes, I was like, bro, I'm not even wasting my time. I only have so much time to pour into a certain amount of people.
Did you, in this process, was there anybody that we hired out there in Lubbock that didn't make it?
Some of the canvassers quit.
Some of the canvassers quit?
Or they worked one day and they didn't show back up. But nobody that, like, worked a week. No one that actually tried. You know, because even I left out Zach Pfeiffer, the part-time firefighter dude.
Yeah.
Dude, he put up, like, $200,000.
Yeah.
You know? Like...
Yeah, he was the fastest to a contract out there.
Yeah, because he was just knocking. He was just walking up on contract. He's like, hey, I just walked up on, what do you call it, scope? Yeah, I just walked up on a scope. I'm like, set an appointment for tomorrow. I'm super swamped today with all these, you know, leads and knocks and knocking, you know, whatever. And, dude, he was just straight helping with that transition. Like, he's a very big part of the success out there as well. Yeah. Because he just got to it. He got lucky, though. Before Chris came on, Zach Pfeiffer rode with me, I believe it was 2 days in a row. He saw everything. He saw me cold knock doors. He saw me run some leads. He saw me do an adjuster. Yep. It was like one of them days where I hit the 10-point checklist when I was like, I did all this shit today. Yep. He got to ride with me and see all of it. And that, saw me do contracts.
And so when people ask, you know, how do roofing salespeople fail in this? And I think it's a mixture of some things. One, it's a failure on leadership, because when you can get great talent or moldable talent, and if you don't have somebody like me or you or a Lance that take these guys out with them and show them what a day looks like in roofing, because like if you want to be successful in roofing sales, get 40 hours out of your fucking mind, especially if you're new in roofing. This is a fucking 60-hour, it's a lifestyle. You know what I mean? But I promise this, it's not hard labor. You know, you're not going to be picking up bundles of fucking shingles for 8 hours, right? You're not going to be I mean, you will work out in the heat, but you get to go back in your car. You know, there's harder work out there, right? So I think one is the leadership. Two is their belief / inspiration in what's possible, right? Because they have to believe that it's possible for them to actually take the time, the 50 to 60 hours, right? Because I remember when I started in this, I worked, like we say, the hot knocking times, you know? And this is what I love that Lance did. Lance is like, no, we're going to work 8 to 8. Like, we're just going to go 8 to 8. Like, yeah, there's hot knocking times, but I've also signed deals at 1 o'clock, right? We're going to go fucking 12 hours. How bad do you want it? And the metaphor I always use is how do you, like, the more hours you put in on the front end, the faster you get your plane off the ground, you know, because a turnaround time on the deal is, 60 to 80 days, right? And so, like, you've got to come out swinging right off the rip, which goes back to the leadership, which goes back to how much time you put in on the front end, you know, and then how well you pick up or study the training. Yeah. That's because those are the three things, because we only have so much time in a day. I can only teach you so much, right? But now we have YouTube University. We have, the trainers that you have access to now is like, you could go on there and go, not interested in rebuttal, and like Adam Bensman pops up, or like all these different roofing trainers pop up. It might be some motherfucker selling pest control and how he overcomes.
Use ChatGPT.
Or you use ChatGPT. Yes, exactly. You
Pretend to be Andy Elliott if you were in roofing.
Right.
Like that type of stuff. Type it in the ChatGPT, you'll get a fire-ass response.
Yeah. So, like, why do most roofing salespeople fail? Is those three things. They don't have the right leadership. They don't believe in themselves. They're not inspired. They don't have a big enough why. And then their work ethic, right? Because you gotta. I heard some really cool thing the other day. It said repetition is doing the same thing over and over again. Iteration is doing something, learning, and then doing it a little bit different the next time. And so you want to iterate, not repeat yourself, right? It's like repetition. Is not what you want. You want iterations, right? And so, like, every time you knock on a door, every time you run into a rebuttal, every time you run into something, you want to study so that shit never happens to you again. I hate the word no. My mother tells me that all the time. She's like, you should have been a lawyer. Every time I tell you no, you got a fucking rebuttal, right? It's like, I don't want to lose at the door. And I don't want to lose so bad that I'm going to figure out how that never happens to me again.
People get lazy with iteration. They want to optimize. They don't want to iterate. And I'm like, dude, optimization is the final product. you're not anywhere close to that.
Yeah.
Stop trying to optimize everything and just focus on the process and just keep iterating. Dude.
Exactly.
So, one, go back to your original question. One was the leadership. Two, my unique position working here for a year, being like I get to sharpen my axe. You know, Abraham Lincoln.
Yep.
Got 4 hours to chop down a tree, spend 3 hours sharpening your axe.
Yep.
I had a unique opportunity to work side by side with you and learn roofing sales.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know shit about roofing, but except for what I learned from you. Like, I was good at sales before that, right? But I didn't know anything about roofing.
Yep.
Like, when we joined companies and came over here, I was like, all right, cool. You're the only roofer I even know. And you're like, bullshit. I'm like, no, that's it, dude. Just you. You thought everybody knew a roofer.
I was like, you're kidding.
Yeah, you know a lot of people, dude. You don't know no roofers? I'm like, no. This is Miller Storm. That's the only company I know.
Now we know thousands of them. Like, everyone's a roofer now.
Yeah. So studying the game, opportunity to sharpen my axe, and dude, it wasn't even something that I focused on. You know, it was something I was just around in the environment. So it's like if people actually focused on it and iterated it and wrote it down, because I learned repetition is the mother of perfection.
Yeah.
Right. So get that repetition and iterate your process. You can't lose, bro. You can't lose. And then, so I mean, studying the game was the second part. You know, when I was ready to finally like unleash the beast.
Yeah, yeah.
Essentially, and then you hit it already. It was work ethic. I taught those guys how to freaking roof, and what was cool is there's a massive payoff in it. So it's like, one, you told me yesterday, you're like, Naaman has a vested interest in selling a lot of roofs. He owns the part of the company. You know what I mean? I was like cracking up. I'm like, that is part of it. That's like the last thing I think about, because I'm like, I like to train and lead and develop.
Yeah.
And so like that's my why I get out there every day. And then when I'm like fucking running out of that, I'm like, when you run low on that juice, you're like, dude, you just got to do it because, well, it's your fucking company.
Yeah.
And so you're like, all right, let's go.
Or
like,
someone else is depending on you too, right?
Yep.
Because like that's kept me going probably more days than my own self. Like when someone was like, dude, I mean, especially when you have money in your bank account, you got a pipeline, like you're like, you know, the comfortable devil starts to go, man, you're good, dude. Like you got all this money in the account, you're fine. And then, you know, broke Johnny's like, hey man, you want to go knock today? You know, like I'm about to lose my truck, or I'm about, you know, I'm in a divorce, or they got all this chaos, and you're like, okay, I have to go out there with you, like, cause you have, like, you know, that has gotten me through a lot of days, and so that pushes me, you know, especially when you have those guys looking at you.
That 100% was another reason why I worked was like 57 out of 60 days or some shit like that. Dude, my canvassers, I was pulling them out of fast food joints, and they were quitting their jobs.
Yeah.
They were like, dude, they had that week where they made more money than they ever made in a week, and they're like, fuck that job.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. But then I'm like, wait,
right.
I got to make sure these guys make it.
Yeah.
And so, like, I was going hard on there. Dude, I was closing, everything moving when they got me when they're like, hey, got a roof.
Yep.
Hey, they got you on one. And I'm like, these dudes are filing a claim.
Yep.
Because this guy's getting paid.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, I was taking care of those, like, just like I did the Thunderdome leads. I'm like, the worst leads were the ones I cold knocked myself. Those are getting the worst treatment. I'm like, listen, John, I know I knocked on your door, but Jake, you know, I got to take care of Eduardo Jacobs. Like, I got to take care of these guys. You know, they were getting the least of my attention, you know, my own personal deals, just to make sure that those guys were taken care of. And then the money that we were invested in the calls, and I'm like, whenever I do my follow-up, first thing that gets a call is the leads we came from the company.
Yep.
I got 2 hours for follow-up. Thunderdome's first, Canvas are second. Monarchs are last, dude. They get the last follow-up and the least amount of time put to them, because I want to make sure everybody that's invested in the company is taken care of.
Facts.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you this question, right? So what is the best advice that you would give another sales rep, and the best advice you ever heard in roofing?
Best advice I could give another sales rep.
Who's just starting off. He's green. A green bean.
Dude, so, just be a canvasser
and
get somebody experienced on as many roofs as possible and bug them about those roofs, dude. Just every day. What happened with Jill? What happened with John? What happened with Jamie? Like, every day. So they work them leads like like gold.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then if you're not like super green bean, but you're like new into this and understand how to grab an inspection, it's like when that storm hits, dude, you just got to work for 90 days straight.
Yeah, just go.
Because you're going to regret it later.
Yeah.
If you don't. That was another thing that kept me going. I'm like, bro, I ain't trying to be out here all year. You know? I'm trying to get as much as a market share as I can in 60 days and then close these. It just so happened another storm hit. And I'm like, all right, let's go do it again. Like, but I'm like, let's just get as much market share as we can. Because I remember when I first went down there, and I know you didn't believe me. Because I never sold
the first
a roof.
time I never believed you.
I was like, hey, Jay, this storm is magnificent. And I've been watching a show called Billions, and he said he uses the word sticks for millions. And I was like, put me down for 2 sticks. Yeah. And I know you're on the other line of the phone. Yes, I'll sell them $2 million of the roofs. Okay. Yeah, bro. All right, cool. Get down there, get to it. I don't know what your expectations were, but I know they weren't that.
No.
Because you never see me sell shit.
No.
You see me like role play, and you're like, I'm really good at that, and I'm good on the phone. But you never see me sell anything. And I'm like, and probably for the last over a year, you probably like, when I'm giving these dudes like a hard time, and I'm like, dude, y'all can do. And you're like, he just believes in himself. I'm sure. Yeah, you know what I mean? But like, when you never done it, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, and I remember when I sold it, you were like, what can they say now?
Yeah.
You're like, what can I say now? It's like, no one's ever done that. And it's like, dude, that's the point, though. It's like, it's really... I was talking to our production manager. I said, this is honestly the easiest job I've ever had personally, selling roofs.
Yeah.
The shit we did yesterday, dude, that was the hardest I worked in 60 days.
Yeah.
Well, those meetings we had yesterday, figuring all this shit, I was like, yesterday at the end of the day, you're like, I'm fresh. I'm just, I didn't say shit, but I was like, I'm not. I'm like, thug it out.
It's the mental energy.
Yeah, I was like, thug it out. But I remember I called him and I said, man, it's the easiest job I've ever had, man. I was a soldier for 13 years. Then I was banging phones for 4. And then I was an executive for a year in a roofing company. And now I get to be a salesman in a roofing company. I was like, this is easily. I said, I just get to walk around and just run my mouth to people all day.
Yeah.
And I get paid $5,000 every time they say yes. I was like, bro, I could do this fucking for a while. I'm like, this is easy. Dude, it's simple.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's so hard? I'm like, yeah, it's hot.
Yep.
I get my steps in, I'm getting shredded. I'm like, this is kind of dope.
Yeah.
I was like, this is the easiest job I've ever had. And I really mean that.
And the deal is too good to be true.
Yeah,
it's
it really
like,
is.
People go, they'll buy a car, right, for $30,000. And they're going to pay $30,000 and maybe some interest, right? This is, you get $30,000 in home exterior work, or you get a makeover on your house, and you're only on the hook for like $3,000. Yeah. I'm like, it's the best deal in the world.
And I know it gets harder as the year goes on and all that, you know, but that's why I'm like, you got to go so hard in those 90 days. Because what did you say, 170 probably in 60 days?
Yeah, easy.
Dude, that's what people are trying to make in a year. And I'm like, dude, you literally, if you're fucking cold, like I am, ice cold, baby. How cold is cold? How cool is cold? But if you're cold, dude, you can make your year's money in fucking, I mean, like you can get it all in the 60 days and it takes another 60 days to close out. But I'm like, in 4 or 5 months, bro, you can make $200,000. I'm like, that ain't that hard.
What's the best advice you've ever heard in roofing? Of course, it came from me, so you could just quote.
Yeah, you got a lot of different. I don't know if there's a best, man. I've gotten so much. Like when we were prepping for your RCAT speech yesterday, I was just giving you all your game back, and you're like, "Fuck, I forgot all this shit." Like, dude, I literally don't know. I don't listen to nobody else because I want to teach our guys the way that you taught me, and so I'm like, I don't want to even know. Like I read the same books over and over.
Yeah,
you know, if you notice that, I'm just like, it's open traction, and I'm like, I don't need another.
Always traction.
I don't need another book, dude. I'm like, dude,
it's like traction, shoe dog, and
yeah, because I'll master what these books are teaching me.
Right.
And so I treat even your mentorship in roofing like one of those books. I'm like, I don't want to know how they roof. What I'm gonna do is if I try something new, it's my way and your way combined.
Yeah.
Not like, well, I saw so-and-so. Because if you're doing the same shit everybody else is doing, you're already behind.
Yep.
You're already behind.
Yeah.
All right. And so
Like, I got my way of doing it. I'm like, dude, we've
Yeah.
done like over what, like it's probably $60-70 million in business. And we're like,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, you have your way. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, that's why we had that core value, be coachable. But
yeah, and I coach. I trust my own gut way of attacking things and doing things, but I use your structure and roofing to do that.
Yeah.
Like, remember the first like 30 days, I'm like, dude, I just do everything you said.
Yeah.
Like, I just used the
I know.
4 stab. You're like, dude,
Every
I told
time.
you. And I'm like, yeah, no, I know. It's super true. Like, I don't say anything different. I don't even know any other words to say.
Yeah.
Like, I know other sales tactics and shit like that, but it's the same words. I say it my own way. But
It's the same flow.
that's the advice, man. That's a tough one.
The best advice that I ever got was when I first started in roofing. I was trying to knock doors, and I told you this, right? Like my first 6 weeks, because mind you, I was knocking stone-coated steel roofs, all right? So it was big game hunting. And the first 6 weeks, I had nothing. Like, I was like, these people don't want a roof. I don't know. Like, and I remember I almost got fired. And then I remember this guy that I was in the car with, and I was like, dude, it's just every single time they tell me the same shit. They tell me this, they tell me that. And he's like, how about this? Let's not even go for a roof inspection. I want you to go up there and have a 1-minute conversation with this person. Just go make a friend. And that made so much sense to me, like, where I was like, okay, I could just have a conversation with somebody, right? Like, and I'm like, I have the gift of gab. I could strike up a conversation. Oh, wow, wonderful landscape and blah, blah, blah. I was walking over, I saw that, like, oh, yeah, blah, blah. And I would just, I got in a conversation, and then I was like, yeah, and it switched it to a roof inspection. I'm like, hey, it takes us 10 to 15 minutes. She's like, yeah, go ahead, get up there. And I was like, oh, I was like, that was it. I'm like, yeah. And that's a key skill, guys. Is like sometimes people confuse, they have this idea of what sales looks like, and really sales is just relationship building. That's really all it is,
That's
right?
probably the advice that you've given me that's maybe been the best is not to be transactional.
Yeah.
Because I came from a transactional business and wholesale.
Yeah, you did.
Right? So it's just like, close these motherfuckers. All right. Because I think about the successes that I've had so far in roofing. That's a piece of advice, because I remember when I first went out with Logan and Brinson. Those are the first 2 guys that take me out, the $1 Million Producer guys, and they were just talking so much. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Fuck, dude, these dudes are just bumping their domes. I'm like, it's like the opposite of the way that I sold,
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, I don't want to sell like these guys at all. But then I find myself now just talking up these people and having, like, I'm still shorter than them.
Yeah.
Some of these guys still don't know when to shut up and just move on. They don't know when they got the
right
sell.
out the outside of the
I know
sell,
I can recognize when I got the inspection or the
Yeah.
close or whatever. Some guys still just be talking about roofing too much. I recognized that in one of our trainings. They were like sitting down and start showing the wow photos. And they're like, hey, so this is what's your hail damage here, and so your granules are knocked off, and what's the shiny shit underneath called again?
You got the granules, you got the asphalt, and then you got the fiberglass.
They're like, hey, your fiberglass. See, this is how much I don't fucking still know about roofing. They're like, yeah, your fiberglass is showing, and I'm like, dude, just stop.
Yeah.
I'm like, let me show y'all how I filed more claims than all of y'all combined last week. I was like, yeah, so let me pull up these photos real quick.
Some people talk, a little too
They start
much.
talking about too much roofing. I'm like, people
the
don't
granules
know. Yeah.
on the shingle, they're
So I'm
made
like-
from a rock refinery.
I'm like, hey,
and-
Jay, you see these black hits on your roof? That's the hail damage that I found up there. It's on your ridges and it's on your slopes. I said, and then this. That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
And then they go crazy over the stupid rain cap.
Yep.
It's rain cap, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they go crazy over a stupid rain cap. They're like, oh, as soon as I see that, I'm like, cool. So then, have you done this before? No? Okay, the next step is bro, I'm selling off the rain cap.
Yep.
They don't know what hell. Dude, when I got into this, I thought you were joking. Because I don't come from roofing. I came from sales and leadership and all that shit. And so I'm like, you show me these black spots on a roof, and I'm like, You get paid $5,000 for that? I said, insurance is paying $40,000 for that. I said, what? I didn't believe it. And I still use that line.
Yeah.
Because I'm a walking testimonial the way I sell.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, when I first got into this, I didn't think that was anything either. I was like, it doesn't look like anything, right? And they're like, no. And I show them the rain cap, and they're like, oh. It looks like I got in a head-on car collision. And they're like, boom. And I'm just getting the claim off the rain cap. Yep. And so I'm like, people that know too much about roofing, you know too much about roofing.
Yep.
Not that I've learned. I'm being a little silly and facetious with some of the
no,
stuff
but it's true. It's very true. The less you talk about they're like, what the fuck? Like, you know,
wah, wah.
Yeah, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah, it's
like,
not about the roof, bro.
People want to talk about them. They want you to build an authentic relationship with them. If you're talking about the roof more than 20% of that conversation, they just fucking fall asleep and tell you, hey, yeah, we'll think about it, because you look like you're too smart.
Yep.
You know, it's like, oh, wait, hold on. This guy knows so much about roofing. He's so smart, like, that you make someone else feel like inferior, you know, and they're like, oh, no, I'm good. Let me just think about this, versus the person that builds a relationship with them. They're like, oh, I like that guy. And then you introduce maybe 1 or 2 sentences about the roof, and they trust. They believe, like, yeah, let's go.
A few things, bro.
Things.
You're like, shingles, underlayment, decking.
Yep.
Pop, pop, pop.
Mm-hmm.
That's how that works.
Exactly.
And I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
Cool. So the next step, I'm moving on, bro. I'm like, it's not. You don't have to understand all that. And
yeah.
So for me, I just like to. I like to train that way.
Yeah.
Train actual sales, not roofing.
Yep.
These guys are salesmen. They're not really roofers. We're in the roofing industry, but you're a sales guy.
Yep.
You're door to door.
And I think it's important. I think it's important for all roofing leaders to know this, is like, yes, you can have classroom training, but if you're trying to grow a sales team, you have to go show these guys what it looks like. Like, you know, you can explain paperwork, explain the closing process, you explain to them how to do a roof inspection, but like, they really want to see you actually go out there and do what you say.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been tested many times, right? Guy like, hey, why don't you come out here and show me? And then I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I go out there like, oh, wow, that's possible. Because I think once you show these guys that it's possible and that you do what you say, then more people will follow you and more people will actually be able to learn, and you'll develop your people faster, right? Because it drives me crazy when people think, oh, I'm just going to teach everything from a classroom. It's like, bro, come on, dog. We sat in a classroom for 12 grades, me 9 grades, right? And then, like, what did you learn? You know, unless you're directly applying the information that you're learning, you won't keep it, you know?
I use Chris as an example. Chris was not in roofing 1 month ago. Chris got in my truck. He took 2 weeks to get off of his other job. And then he was supposed to start on, like, a Thursday, and his nephew, who's like his little brother, was playing in, like, some Little League World Series thing.
Oh, that's cool.
And so he was like, bro, I know I'm supposed to start Thursday, but he's got this thing on Saturday. So then we pushed it like 4 or 5 more days so he could go to Amarillo and watch him play and do all these things. And we started that next Monday. And, dude, from nothing in roofing to the guy you talked to on the phone last night, like, it's night and day.
Night and day. Even the way he talks. When I first talked to him the first time to who he is now, he's like, oh, they're not doing that to me. I'm on this. And, you know, he's on it.
Yeah. And it's the way you train these guys. So I train them exactly how I would want to be reported to.
Yeah.
I'm like, because you saw how you were like, hey, is it in AccuLinks? Is it in the right thing? He's like, oh, yeah, this one's involved by insurance. This one's in claim file.
Icy.
11 claims in like a week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what he's got in there. And like, as soon as I left, I told him before I left too. I said, hey, you need to put on a show. He's like, what? I'm like, everyone's going to be watching. I left. They're going to want to see who does what. He was like, bet. And then we sent one of our reps down there, and he was like, I just wanted to just compete. I just wanted to win.
Yeah.
He's like, I just want to win.
Yep.
I don't care. Like, I just can't be second.
Yeah.
And he's like, so there you go, big
That's
dog.
the mindset.
Mm-hmm.
That's the mindset everybody needs.
Yeah, exactly. And so he just like basically wiped the floor with everyone in the company as far as claims goes.
Yeah.
From no claims to the most claims.
Yeah.
And I'm
like 10 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, jeez, dude.
Yeah.
I did. And I said,
everybody has
to
to have that fucking mindset. It drives me crazy when you have this list of the sales board, right? And you got guys that are doing 400,000 and you got 200,000. Then you guys got, if I was at 50,000, that would drive me fucking crazy. Like, and I think that's the mentality between people who do millions of dollars in roofing sales and then people that are just fucking mediocre. Because that needs to drive you off the fucking wall. Yeah. Like, I refuse to be in the middle of the pack, right? And like, if there's people that are at the top of this board month after month, it's not luck, dude. It's just you're not good enough. Yeah. And that means you need to get good enough, or you need to add more work ethic to your work schedule. But one of the two things, but regardless, you can't be okay with that. People who are okay, and if that's not like nails on a chalkboard, like every time at every roofing company, when I came in and I saw my name not number one, or like I saw my name go to 2 or 3, I'm like, oh, hell fucking no. That ain't fucking happening to me. I'm going out all day. That's not like, it just gave me like, you have to want to be the best. And I think that's another like mindset shift that a lot of people in roofing, you have an opportunity to make $170,000 in 60 days. This man just did it. We have a gentleman that did $440,000 last year. I know many people who make 500, 600, millions of dollars in this. You have an opportunity. You know what that does in 1 year? You make $500,000 in one fucking year. You've just changed the entire trajectory of your whole life. That's what you've done, right? And people don't appreciate that. I didn't even know there were opportunities like that. I thought I had to sell fucking drugs. Like, if I was ever going to be successful, that's how crazy my mindset was, right? Is I was willing to go to prison for 25 to life to try to make $250,000. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, and that was going to be at some point a dead end for me, you know? And then like when I saw this, you know, walking into the first sales meeting I ever walked into, and I see 24-year-old kids wearing Gucci fucking loafers and wearing Rolexes and talking about cryptocurrency. I'm like, what? I'm like, you guys have real estate investments? I'm sitting here like at 29, 30 years old going, what in the world?
These kids can do it. I'm about to get into it.
These 23-year-old kids. I watched a 19-year-old kid who smoked weed all damn day. He made $110,000 his first year in roofing. I don't know how. He would ride his skateboard and hit his weed pen and knock doors all day. I don't know why the company let him do it. But this kid made $110,000. So anytime I see somebody in this company that's not making $110,000, I'm like, bro, all I think about is that kid. All I think about is him. Skateboard. I'm like, you motherfuckers, I watched a 20-year-old kid out hustle y'all. Like, y'all grown, man.
That
like,
hustle thing will get to it. You know what's funny is I saw the sales board thing. I never really thought about it because I didn't really ever care about being on there. It was not something I was striving to do or whatever for the last year plus. And then I remember I signed my first roof June 22nd, 2 months ago now.
Yeah.
June 22nd was my first roof. I remember because I was not prepared to do this work order. I did a little prep with my boy Daniel on a different work order for later that day. I do the adjuster appointment. He writes it up on the spot, and I'm like, all right. We're about to do this shit right now.
Yeah.
We're doing it right now.
Yeah.
And I just did that shit on the spot. And I remember saw the little thing on the sales board go up. No one was paying attention yet. June 22nd. Nobody was like, oh, name's Lovick. He's just on a bunch of roofs. Whatever. And I remember slowly but surely, I got up to like that 300 range where I was under like the medium guys in the company. Like just under them. And I remember I passed some of the guys that we have higher hopes for that are just not on their grind right now. Yeah. And I remember them guys, because they've been doing this for 2 years, 3 years, whatever. And they're like, what the fuck's going on? Mm-hmm. I remember Daniel thinking like, he told me, he was like, damn, bro, you might actually pass me. Da-da-da-da. That's what he said. And then it was, Gunner's my boy too. And so I remember when I passed Daniel, he's like, get the fuck out of here, dude. How did you pass me? And Gunner was maybe like 100 and something above him. I was like, I don't know, bro. I was like, but looking at my pipeline, I think I'm going to pass everybody. Yeah. I was like, I think I might pass everybody, besides like the top reps. And he was like, get out of here, dude. How the fuck? Because he's striving for $1 million in sales, right? Like that's his goal. And I remember when I passed Gunner the first time, because me and him went like this for a second, because he's still a gangster, dog. You know what I mean? Like, and this is his time to get it. Yeah. I remember I passed him, and then I never felt a certain way because I was just running up the board. I'm like, I'm just gonna pass people. And I remember when he passed me back, I was like,
you didn't like that.
I didn't like it. the shit you're talking about, because I still didn't even feel a certain way on my way up. I was like, well, I'm just gonna sell what I sell. But I remember when I passed, and he passed me, and I passed him, and he did it again, and I was like, all right.
You go triple dog dare me?
That was that last week in July. I didn't tell nobody this shit. It was that last week in July, and I was like, I'm just gonna sign $150 grand this week.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet, but I'm gonna do it this week.
Yeah.
And I remember we walked up on a fucking 90K scope. I fucking followed up my everything.
Yeah.
Hit a 50 piece from a follow up that had been ghosting me. I called him from all these different phones. I'm like, I set an appointment. I don't think he knew who I was when I showed up. I'm like, let's get this thing wrapped up. I remember I sold like 170,000 or something that last week.
You were trying to make
in
a
July,
push,
and I was like, dude, and we went over our sales goal by like 170 grand.
Yeah,
I was like 50K short,
Yeah.
and we went like 150 over.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, boom, that should shut all that shit down for a little while.
Yeah.
Until I roll in the rest of this, because I was like, I need to get a gap. And I remember I was the same way in the Army when we used to do these long ruck marches. Mm-hmm. We would have these like 50-pound rucks, and we would all just, like the real fit guys would just take off running, because we would just run with the ruck. I would run the whole time.
Yeah.
Like every now and then we would speed walk, but everyone else would just walk. But all the guys that were really competing would just fucking dipped.
Yeah.
And when we got to the hills, a lot of guys would stop and walk the hills and then jog the rest. I would sprint the hills because I would create the gap. Yeah. So when it got hard, I would go harder.
Yeah.
And it would just make people not even want to fucking keep going. They would just fucking, I see them, they would lean back into, because when you're running, you're like this, they would lean back into that bitch and just be like, fuck it, I can't keep up with that dude.
Yeah.
That's what I was attempting to do.
Take their souls.
Yeah. And then
Shang Tsung.
I told Mike, I was like, it might take me a few more months, but you're next. He was laughing. He was like, whatever, fucking whatever. You know, he's competitive though.
Yeah.
He's competitive. Yeah. So I'm gonna push his ass next.
If you pass Mike, did you pass Mike? No,
I don't know. I don't know.
Once you guys probably right there.
Once they ink my 150 in commercial, I might.
This is oh yeah, that is true. Yeah.
It's coming.
This is and listen, you guys should probably pay me money for me to tell you this, but I'm gonna drop you guys a little nugget. If you want to be successful as fast as possible, you have to get to the storm immediately. Mm-hmm. Like, I know a lot of people have kids and they have a wife and they have obligations at home and things like that. But listen, when you have to strike when the iron is hot. You guys cannot sit and wait, because what happened is, it's just like when you sit and wait on like a stock you heard of and you're like, I'll just sit and wait. And then that thing like goes like 40x and then you try to buy at the top and then lose the money, right? It's the same thing with a hailstorm, right? It's like when you see that storm, people have identified damage and you see that place is totaled, you need to go, even if the company won't support an Airbnb, which we did support Airbnbs in these areas, but even if they don't and you're a sales rep somewhere else, like what is an Airbnb? $2,500? Like, you know, pay for the 30 to 60 days to go out there and go ham for those 2 months. Because I promise you, we all know after you've been in roofing a while, right? I hate to call them the slower parts, but they kind of are, right? The end of November, December, like there's not a lot of people getting a roof in December and January.
Slower for installs, at least.
It's slower. You know what I mean? And then enjoy your time with your family in December and January, bro. Like, but speed up the time now. Don't drag it out throughout the whole year and keep this consistent pace like throughout the year. Go sprint up the mountain, like what Naaman is saying, when the iron is hot. You know, and don't wait. I see this so many times, man. I've even done this to myself where I'm like, man, I'll just wait. You know what I mean? I'll get out there in 3 days. You go out there and like everybody signed up, bro. Like it's becoming a faster game. Contractors are getting smarter with their marketing. They're getting larger parts of the shares of these towns. Like, for you to compete in this, it's speed to lead. Yep. And you have to go as fast as you can. I can't stress that enough. So if there's any big, that was probably $10,000 in game.
Speed, bro.
You guys can Venmo me. You can Venmo me 10 grand. But that piece of advice is going to make you $10,000 if you apply it. All right, cool. I know we've been rapping for a little bit now. There's one thing that we have to touch. I think we've touched it all, but if you were to start over in roofing sales, would you do anything different?
Yeah.
What would you have done?
A few things. So I'll only speak on the successes that I've had and the failures that we did have, or shortcomings that we did have, because now I know how to fix them.
Yeah.
One, I mean, my what do you call it? My call to fame so far in Miller Storm has been the call center, right?
Yeah.
Like, that shit has fucking worked. But we also had shortcomings. And I know that one of those shortcomings was we gave leads to everybody.
Yeah.
And now that I know, not even that I know, now that I've actually shown that I can sell a roof, even though I already knew I could do it, now that I've shown it, I can let motherfuckers know.
Yeah.
You are not like that.
Right.
You don't get to have one of those.
Yeah.
You don't follow up enough. You don't, because I can give you my little case study that I did personally. And it's the same, dude. That market was just as hard as this market. And shit ain't like, oh, we were middle of Mississippi.
Yeah.
Like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Ask the guys that came and left a week later to come work
Right.
here instead. Right. Ask them which market's easier. So when I tell you, I'm like, hey, you don't deserve a lead because you're just not like that. You're not cold enough. You don't follow up enough. You don't care enough about the customer. You're not that good at sales. I know what that needs to look like now. Yeah. Whereas before, remember I told you, I said, man, I think about that March 14th and May 27th storm.
Because you sat in the seat.
I said, bro, we should have did another $3 million on just the leads.
Yeah.
I think about it.
Yeah.
I think about it often.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God. That was such a great storm that we just didn't know what we had. We didn't know what we had. We didn't know. We were just like hitting gold. We're like, oh, look at all this gold. We're looking for silver.
Yeah.
And like now I'm like, fuck, dude, that was crazy. So I would tighten that up a ton, and really work that follow up like crazy.
Follow up.
That's why I was so successful, bro. I think $500,000 out of that million.
So many guys, dude. That's such a fucking plague in our industry, dude. It's like people go, "Oh man, one touch closing, man. I'm just gonna move on." And you're like, dude, if you would have just picked up the phone and called him in like 2 or 3 days, you could have made another $5,000 or $10,000. But instead, you're just running around looking for this one touch close.
It's the reason my freaking poster says ring ring.
Yeah, man.
I worked the phones more than I actually worked. I called them way more times than I've knocked doors.
Yeah. I would rather.
That's how you gather the berries.
I would rather call somebody I already met than go knock another door where I have no idea who's behind that door. Like, you know what I mean? I've already talked to you. We've already had a conversation. Pick up where we left off. Like, guys, follow up is so key in this, man. So I can't stress that enough.
I think in the second part where I was maybe wrong, but the intention was right, was on inside sales. I think it's reteaching office hours. What office hours actually is.
Yeah.
Because I did my own version of office hours, and I know it's nothing like what everyone else does.
Yeah.
I know it. It's the way that I call, the way that I follow up, the way that I leave my notes, the way that I nurture my leads. I know no one else has that system.
Yeah.
I don't know how Brinson did it. I'm not sure. I never worked with him.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how he worked his follow-up and nurtured his leads, but I'm like, the way that I do it, I know no one else here does.
Yeah.
And so I need to teach that. I need to transfer that information and that process.
Absolutely.
Because I'm right about inside sales, but I think I'm applying it the incorrect way.
Yeah.
Because that's basically what I did. I was just a lead manager that was inside sales. I was just calling, banging phones on my own pipeline. You know,
Right.
I took care of over 200 leads during this process so far. Like now, if you go look, it looks like shit because I took like a bunch of days off. But before that, it was like 1 or 2 days. That's it. 1 or 2 days. That's it. That call center. Oh, and then chasing these storms.
Yeah.
If I could start over, dude, I mean, again, blessing and a curse. I learned how to roof from you, but I also learned I didn't get information that was also vital because you didn't have it.
Yeah.
Now we have the information, though.
Right.
You're not like, hey, go chase that storm. No, your ideology is stay in your fucking subdivision.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, we just tried some other shit and it works. And we're like, other stuff does work.
Absolutely.
And so, like, we don't have all the game and information, dude. Like, we were two totally different people when we met. We met before 18 months ago when we went into business together 18 months ago. So totally different ideologies and training and everything. We don't even sound the same. We say words like iterate. Like, we've developed a lot, you know what I mean? And so I would say chasing those storms, and then the inside sales, because that's where I've had that's the shortcoming there. We still ain't figured out this fucking marketing shit. We'll see how that goes. That's TBD, in progress. We say we'll figure it out. But the inside sales, the call center, chasing the storm, and then the canvassing hiring model.
Yeah.
Lance brought in this system here that's working really well.
Yeah. And everybody loves it.
Mm-hmm. And I think, the way that I hired and developed and trained out there in Lubbock is the way to start a branch. So I really need to download, the game plan for first 90 days in the market. We haven't even hit 90 days in the market yet. And then download first 90 days in production.
Yeah, what that looks like.
It's two sides.
Speed it up.
It's two sides. We don't talk about that. So that's the shit I would fix.
And if I could redo my career in roofing sales, if there was anything I'd do different, I probably wouldn't. I'm so grateful to get my teeth kicked in. Like, knocking on stone-coated steel roofs for 2 years, I just learned how to get my teeth kicked in, and I got real comfortable getting my teeth kicked in to the point where I didn't give a fuck if I had teeth. I was like, I'll just buy new teeth. Okay, like, I just need one of these to hit. So, I guess to sum that up, man, a lot of guys, you got to get comfortable with getting your teeth kicked in and just understand that you could buy new teeth.
Yeah. Where people start and their career is very important.
Yeah.
You shouldn't change anything because it taught you all the game that you need today.
Absolutely.
And it's supposed to be easier for someone like me because I get to just get all your information.
Yeah.
And then apply my own skill set. And the guys that we develop, it's supposed to be even easier
faster,
because you get all my game, you get all Jay's game, you get all of our information straight drip. It's supposed to be easier for you.
Yeah, yeah.
I learned that in wholesale, and I was like, man, these guys, started out this way, cold calling, fucking phone book shit. We're like got inbound Google leads. You know what I mean? Like, it's supposed to be easier. That's the point. That's why you're supposed to have more success faster.
Yep.
I think some younger guys think they're better than some of the guys that have been in this longer, but I'm like, it's supposed to be easier for you, dude.
Yep.
You got to learn from someone else with you're supposed to be better than me at this. I agree. I agree. Yep. So we can end it right there, bro.
Yep.
You're supposed to be better.
You're supposed to be better. Hey, thank you guys for tuning in. If you want to follow Naaman, it's at Naaman Taylor. Jesus. At Naaman Taylor
Investor. He's trying, everyone. Excuse him while he has a stroke.
At Naaman Taylor Investor. Follow me at Roof Dr. J on Instagram. And we are hiring right now at Miller Storm. We're always looking for top talent. So if you are at a roofing company or you're just at another company, it doesn't even need to be in roofing, and you're looking for a better opportunity, we'd love to have a chat with you. Look out. I will be doing a speaking engagement at CTRCA in Austin, Texas this coming Tuesday, which is August 19th at 11 a.m. You could go to ctrca.net and go onto that website, get more information. It's $75 a ticket, but I'd love to have you out. The topic is going to be on door knocking. So if you're not getting enough training at the company that you're at, or you're learning how to use door knocking in the business that you're in, I'm going to be giving you guys straight drip, as what Naaman would say. I'm going to be out there for a whole hour and a half giving you guys the game. So if you show up, I'm excited to see you, and tune in to the next episode on Hard Knocks Podcast as we tell you guys the grind and the grit it takes to succeed in the roofing industry. Stay tuned.